Hello YouTube, this is Frank and this is March the 7th, 2020. This is my fourth video and my first topical issue video. And I was going to talk about the coronavirus and use simple differential equations to model the spread of the coronavirus. And I was just going to use these simple models that you find in introductory differential equation books. That's one book. There's another differential equation book. And the simple models have a susceptible population of cell, an infected cell, and the recovered cell. There's flow in one direction. There's no flow from the recovered back to the susceptible cell. Once you have the virus and you recover, you do not get sick again. And there is no vaccine, so there's no way to go from the susceptible to the recovered cell. It's just one-way flow, a simple model. The flow out of the S cell into the infected cell is the infection rate times the interaction rate times the number of people in the susceptible cell. In the infected cell, there's flow coming in and flow going out, and that's the infected rate times the interaction rate times the people in the S cell minus the recovery rate in the I cell. In the R cell, there's just flow going into it, and that's the recovery rate from the I cell going into the R cell. I did look on the CDC website. The death rate for the flu was 0.1%, and I do not know the death rate for the coronavirus. I've heard any number between 2 and 6%. And for my simple model, I'm going to use 2% for the death rate. Okay. Let's make some assumptions. I'm going to just assume we have a population of 100,000, and I'm going to assume we have a 10-day window. In our infection rate, we have an infection rate, an interaction rate, a recovery rate, and a death rate. In our infection rate, I don't know the infection rate. I've just heard several reports that it's between 2 and 3 people. Like if one person gets the coronavirus, they pass it along to either two to 3 people, and in that 10-day window. So let's just use 2.5. In our interaction rate, I don't know, for in 10 days, suppose I interact with 20 people and divide that by the number of people in the cell. For the recovery rate, we'll just assume you get recovered within 10 days, and let's see, the survival rate will be 98%, and the death rate, we'll just assume within 10 days we'll have a death, and that's the 0.02%. Now, let's just have some columns here for our pools. That's the susceptible rate, the infected pool, the recovered pool, the death pool, and then just the sum of the population. And for my simulation, I will be using a Raspberry Pi 4 to run the spreadsheet and the models. Let's see. So this is March the 7th. Oops. Okay. So let's get us a year's worth of dates. And oops. Let me just I need to do the series instead of a field. That was my fault. Let's see. We'll just do a daily time step. Yeah, that's more better. And let's go down to the end of our, let's see. So we started on March the 7th, so we'll take off these extra days. Okay. Well, in our the first day, we'll just assume we have 99,999 people in our susceptible rate. We'll have one person infected, 0 in the recovery, 0 in the death pool, and plus some, what's that? That's B4, 3E4. Make sure, yeah, we make sure our math is correct here. And our flow will have the interaction rate times the infection rate. Let's see, so that's going to be B4 minus the infection rate times the interaction rate, which is J3 times our pool. Okay, our infected rate, we were flowing in from the susceptible and flowing out to the death pool, so that's going to be C4 plus the flow in 3 times J3 times that pool B4 and float out is going to be the recovery rate and the death rate. Oops. K3 plus L3 times C4. Okay, now our recovery rate is going to be what, the D4 plus our recovery rate is what, K3 times C4, and the death rate is what, E4 plus L3 times C4. Okay, and let's sum that to make sure our math is correct. So B5 3E5. Yes, okay, so our math is good. So let's have our model. Okay, and let's just run it for the year, for 1 year. Oops. Okay, and at the end of 1 year in our 100,000 sample population, we have 324 deaths, or what, 15,000, almost 16,000 infected. Well, that'd be, add those two together, over 16,000 infected, and there's still almost 420 infected people in that population. Now let's come over here. Now let's just try to run this for the United States, and there's 350 million people in the United States. What's that? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I need one more. And we have 100,000 in our pool, so that's going to be what, J6 divided by J6 divided by J7, and so we'll have 3,500 pools of 100,000 people in those pools. Okay, in our simulation, let's just say we have, so we'll have a date, the susceptible, the infected, the recovered, and the death pool, and then the population. Now, I believe that was what, A4, oops, A4, yes. So if we ramp that our simple model up to the population of the United States, let's see, that's going to be what, B4 34 times 3,500. Okay, that's got our susceptible pool, and that's just all right. So that looks good. We have our date, our pools. Okay, so let's run this model for a year. Let's see here. Oops. All right, let's see. So in our simple model, at the end of 1 year, we're simulating, let's see what, 55 million people that would contract that, well, 55 million plus the death rate that would contract the virus. Let's see. And we're showing 1.1 million deaths from the coronavirus in 1 year, and that is a large number. Okay, so if we, now this is the Center for Disease, the CDC website, and this is their flu page. So on the flu for last year, they had 35.5 million getting sick, and so that kind of compares well with our simple model, where we're predicting about 56 million, 57 million people that contract the disease. There is no vaccine, so that's not unreasonable. There's their death rate, that's what, 34,200 divided by 35. Okay, and there's that death rate, the 0.01% death rate. Now let's see. Now we have, I was just guesstimating a 2% death rate, and that's a 0.1%. So if we look, our death rate is 20 times higher than the flu. So if we were, let's see here now. So if we were just to put in a, let's see. Why is this? What did I do? Oh, there we go. 200 times 20. If we just assume that similar infection rate as the flu, and just multiply the death by 20 times, that's 684,000 deaths. So we're kind of in the ballpark, I think. This is going to be a serious spread. So if we go over to the CDC, they have a web page for the coronavirus, and let's see, I go to the top. Yeah, they have oops, I'm on the wrong page. This is I mashed the wrong button. They do have a web page for the coronavirus. It was updated today, and they do have a there's a map, a world map of the spread, and then they have a risk assessment. They're thinking the circumstances suggest it is likely that this virus will cause a pandemic. So we'll watch this. And that's what I was, this is my coronavirus video. I was just, I am not an epidemiologist. I am not a virologist. I'm just an interested person just looking at the numbers from a simple differential equation model. And we're looking at 1.1 million people, 1.1 million deaths from our simple model. I hope it's not that bad, but we'll see. And that's my coronavirus video. Okay, thank you.